The city of radiant heights never slept. Its skyline glittered with towering spires and cascading holographic displays. Hover cars zipped through the air, leaving trails of luminescent light. People strolled down the immaculate streets, their faces adorned with unchanging, blissful smiles. It was a place where happiness seemed to be the natural state of being, but beneath the surface, something unsettling lurked.
My name is Ethan Alden, and I've lived in Radiant Heights my entire life. Growing up here, you'd think I'd be accustomed to the ceaseless joy painted on every face. The source of this relentless cheer was the Smile Company, a corporation that had revolutionized the concept of happiness. Their groundbreaking technology ensured eternal smiles, a constant state of euphoria. It was said to be the pinnacle of human achievement, the solution to all our woes. Yet, as I walked through the city, the perpetual grins seemed less like a blessing and more like a mask. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was fundamentally wrong. It all started when my childhood friend, Ava returned to Radiant Heights after years abroad. Ava had always been the skeptical one, questioning everything. When she saw the city after her long absence, her reaction was not of awe, but of deep concern. "Ethan, don't you find it strange?" she asked as we sat in a cozy cafe, the aroma of synthetic coffee filling the air. "Strange? What do you mean?" I replied, sipping my drink. "These smiles. They're not real. They're programmed." I looked around at the other patrons, all of them smiling contentedly. "It's the Smile Company," I said. "They've found a way to make people happy. Isn't that a good thing?" Ava shook her head. "Happiness can't be manufactured. It has to be felt. These people, they're not happy. They're just numb." Her words echoed in my mind long after our conversation ended. I had always accepted the smiles as a part of life, but now I began to see the cracks in the facade. The next day, I couldn't stop thinking about Ava's words. The smiles that once seemed so reassuring now felt eerie. I decided to dig deeper into the Smile Company and its technology. I spent hours in the city's central library, scouring old news articles and research papers. I learned that the Smile Company had started as a small startup focused on mental health. Their initial goal was to help people struggling with severe depression. However, their technology quickly evolved, promising not just relief from sadness, but perpetual happiness. As their influence grew, so did their power. Soon, they became the leading corporation in Radiant Heights, with their smile enhancements becoming a societal norm. Critics had raised concerns, but their voices were drowned out by the overwhelming praise and the company's extensive PR campaigns. Determined to understand more, I decided to visit the Smile Company. Their headquarters was a colossal structure of glass and steel, a testament to their dominance. Inside, I was greeted by a cheerful receptionist whose smile never wavered. "Welcome to the Smile Company. How can we help you today?" she chirped. "I'm interested in learning more about your technology," I said, trying to sound casual. "Of course. Our happiness enhancement division offers tours. Please, follow me." As we walked through the pristine corridors, I saw employees working diligently, all with those same smiles. The receptionist led me to a large room filled with various machines and devices. A scientist named Dr. Marcus Flynn approached us. "Ah, a curious mind," he exclaimed. "I'm Dr. Flynn. What would you like to know? How does it work?" "The technology, I asked. Dr. Flynn's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "Our technology targets specific areas of the brain responsible for emotions. By stimulating these regions, we can induce a state of continuous happiness." "But isn't that unnatural?" I probed. "Natural happiness is fleeting, unpredictable. Our method ensures stability, consistency." It's the next step in human evolution. I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine. This wasn't evolution, it was control. Over the next few weeks, I delved deeper into the workings of the Smile Company. Late one night, Ava and I broke into one of their restricted labs, driven by a need to uncover the truth. What we found was beyond horrifying. Rows of people were hooked up to machines, their faces twisted in grotesque smiles. Their eyes were vacant, devoid of any real emotion. Monitors displayed their brain activity, showing unnatural spikes in the areas associated with pleasure. "They're prisoners," Ava whispered. "This isn't happiness. It's torture." A deep voice echoed behind us. "You're not supposed to be here." We turned to see Dr. Flynn, his face a mask of calm. "You've seen too much. I'm afraid you won't be leaving." Ava and I exchanged a glance and bolted for the exit. Alarms blared as we ran through the corridors, heart pounding in my chest. Somehow, we managed to escape and return to my apartment, panting and terrified. "This has to end," Ava said, her eyes blazing with determination. Over the next few days, Ava and I worked tirelessly to gather as much evidence as we could. We hacked into the Smile Company's databases, uncovering secret documents, internal memos, and disturbing video footage. Each piece of evidence painted a clearer picture of the sinister operations behind the company's facade. One night, we met with a journalist named Leo Hastings, an old friend of Ava's who had a reputation for uncovering the truth. We showed him everything we had. This is incredible," Leo said, his eyes wide with shock as he scrolled through the files. "If we release this, it will change everything." "But we need to be careful," Ava cautioned. "The Smile Company has deep connections. If they find out what we're doing before we go public, they'll silence us." Leo nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I'll prepare a detailed expose. We'll release it through multiple channels to ensure it spreads quickly and can't be suppressed." The next morning, Radiant Heights awoke to a different kind of buzz. Screens across the city displayed Leo's expose, detailing the horrors of the Smile Company. People gathered in the streets, huddled around large public screens, watching the revelations unfold. The footage of people in the labs, their faces twisted in unnatural smiles, left the viewers in stunned silence. "Is this what we've been living for?" a woman beside me whispered, tears welling in her eyes. As the day progressed, the initial shock turned into anger. The serene, smiling faces that had once been a hallmark of Radiant Heights were replaced with expressions of confusion, fear, and fury. The illusion of perpetual happiness was shattered, and with it, the city's trust in the Smile Company. Protests erupted in front of the Smile Company's headquarters. People demanded answers, justice, and the dismantling of the technology that had manipulated their emotions. The once imposing building now stood as a symbol of deceit and control, surrounded by a sea of angry citizens. Ava and I joined the protests, our voices blending with the chorus of demands for change. "Down with the Smile Company," we chanted. "We want our lives back." The pressure was too great for the authorities to ignore. Under the watchful eyes of the media and the relentless protests, an investigation was launched. Dr. Flynn and his associates were arrested, charged with crimes against humanity for their unethical experiments and manipulation of the population. The dismantling of the Smile Company was a complex and arduous process. Teams of specialists worked day and night to deactivate the technology embedded in the city's infrastructure and in people's minds. The transition was anything but smooth. Without the artificial enhancements, many citizens experienced intense withdrawal symptoms, a mix of emotional volatility and physical discomfort. Support groups sprang up across the city, where people gathered to share their experiences and support each other through the difficult times. Ava and I attended several sessions, offering our help and listening to stories of those struggling to adapt to their newfound reality. It feels like I'm waking up from a dream, one man shared during a support group meeting. I don't know what's real anymore. It's going to be tough, Ava said, her voice steady and reassuring. But this is the first step towards reclaiming our true selves. Genuine happiness isn't about being constantly euphoric. It's about feeling all the emotions, the highs and the lows, and finding meaning in them. The city slowly began to transform. The sterile uniform streets filled with unending smiles gave way to a more varied and vibrant scene. People laughed, cried, argued, and made up. There was a raw, authentic energy in the air, a sense of collective healing. One evening, as I stood on the balcony of my apartment, watching the sunrise over a city rediscovering itself, Ava joined me. The first rays of dawn cast a warm glow over the buildings, reflecting off the glass and steel structures. "Do you think they'll be okay?" she asked, her eyes scanning the horizon. I took a deep breath, feeling the cool morning air fill my lungs. "It won't be easy," I reply, my thoughts reflecting on the tumultuous journey ahead. But it's a start. True happiness isn't about constant euphoria. It's about experiencing all emotions, the good and the bad. She nodded, a real, heartfelt smile spreading across her face. "I'm glad we did this," she said softly. "Me too," I reply, feeling a sense of peace settle over me. For the first time in a long while, I felt genuinely hopeful about the future. Radiant Heights was no longer a city of artificial bliss, but a place where people could seek and find true happiness, one genuine emotion at a time. And that, I realized, was a far greater achievement than any technological enhancement could ever provide.
If you've ever questioned the nature of happiness, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below and let's discuss. And if you're intrigued by stories like this, make sure to check out more sci-fi tales on my channel.